11 episodes. A slave said, "Control what you can." A French rebel said, "Revolt against the absurd." A psychiatrist found meaning in Auschwitz. A pessimist said, "Life is suffering." And now, we have arrived at the oldest answer of all. A man at a border crossing, about to vanish forever. He writes 81 verses in a single night and rides off on a water buffalo. Never seen again. His name means Old Master, and what he wrote changed the world. Lao Tzu was the keeper of archives at the Zhou dynasty court. For decades, he watched empires rise and fall. He read everything, and eventually he decided the whole thing, the ambition, the striving, the endless forcing, was pointless. So he left. He mounted a water buffalo and headed west toward the mountains, toward the wilderness, toward nothing. But at the Honggu Pass, a guard named Yanxi recognized him. Yanxi begged him, "Before you go, write down what you know. Leave something behind." Lao Tzu sat down, and in one sitting, no edits, no revisions, no second drafts, he wrote 5,000 Chinese characters across 81 short chapters. He handed the manuscript to Yanxi. Then he rode through the pass and was never seen again. That manuscript is the Tao Te Ching, the most translated book in human history after the Bible. His real name was Li Er. Lao Tzu just means Old Master, an honorific. Legend says he was conceived when his mother saw a shooting star and he was born with white hair, already old, already wise. Whether that is true or not doesn't matter. What matters is what he wrote. Because 2,500 years later, the Tao Te Ching is still answering the question that 11 episodes of Western philosophy have been asking. How do you actually live? You have seen the other Taoism videos, the water metaphors, the stock footage of waterfalls, the vague advice to go with the flow. They all say the same thing. Don't force, be like water, relax. They never tell you what any of this actually means for your life. This isn't one of those videos. This is Mindscape Philosophy. 11 philosophers tried to answer the question of how to live. Today, the oldest answer, the one that says the question itself was the problem. Lao Tzu and the Art of Not Forcing. The Tao Te Ching opens with a paradox, the most famous opening line in Eastern philosophy. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The book begins by telling you it can't tell you anything. It's like a door that opens by telling you there is no door. This is not mysticism. This is honesty. What is the Tao? It's not a god. It's not a force. It's not anything you can point to. Lao Tzu called it the Wei. But even that is just a word for something words can't capture. The Tao is the underlying order of the universe, the pattern beneath the chaos. The river that flows whether you swim with it or fight against it. You can't see it, you can't name it, but you can align with it, and when you do, everything gets easier. This is what separates Taoism from every Western philosophy we have covered. Epictetus said, "Control what you can." Camus said, "Rebel." Sartre said, "Choose." Nietzsche said, "Become." Frankl said, "Find meaning." Lao Tzu said something completely different. He said, "The problem isn't that you haven't figured out how to live. The problem is that you think there's something to figure out." The river doesn't try to flow, it just flows. Taoism was not originally a religion. That came later. Temples, priests, rituals. What Lao Tzu wrote was a philosophy. Daojia, the school of the Tao. A way of seeing the world, a way of living. He never started a church. He never gathered disciples. He wrote the book, handed it to a guard, and disappeared. That act, writing something true and then walking away, is the most Taoist thing imaginable. Lao Tzu said, "I have just 3 things to teach: compassion, frugality, humility. These are the 3 treasures, not power, not achievement, not wealth. Compassion, because everyone you meet is fighting a battle you can't see. Frugality, because wanting less is the only way to have enough. Humility, because the moment you think you've arrived, you've lost the way. Compassion means seeing yourself in everyone, not pity, not charity, recognition. The person who cut you off in traffic, that's you on a different day. The boss who made you feel small, that's you in a different life. When you see yourself in everyone, you stop fighting everyone. This is not weakness. This is the deepest strength there is. Frugality isn't about being cheap. It's about wanting what you already have. The modern world runs on desire. The next thing, the better version, the upgrade. Lao Tzu says, "The person who knows they have enough is rich. Not because they have more, because they need less." This is the most countercultural idea in the Tao Te Ching, and it's the one that would fix most of your stress. Here's the central idea, Wu Wei. It's usually translated as non-action or effortless action. Both translations miss the point. Wu Wei doesn't mean doing nothing. It means action that doesn't feel like forcing, like breathing. You don't force yourself to breathe, it happens. You don't force your heart to beat, it beats. That's Wu Wei. Action aligned with the Tao. So natural, so inevitable, that it doesn't feel like effort at all. Think of an athlete in flow. The basketball player who sinks the shot without thinking. The musician who plays the solo without trying. They're not forcing, they're not hesitating. They're in the zone. That's Wu Wei. The moment effort disappears and action becomes pure. Every culture has a word for this. The Greeks called it arete. Modern psychology calls it flow state. Lao Tzu called it Wu Wei. And he said it's the natural way to live. Wu Wei is not laziness. It is not passivity. It is not giving up. Lao Tzu was clear on this. A tree doesn't try to grow. It grows. The sun doesn't try to rise. It rises. That's not laziness. That's alignment. The tree knows what it is and does what trees do. The sun knows what it is and does what suns do. You are a human being. Do what humans do, but without the forcing, without the straining, without the story that you're not enough. The opposite of Wu Wei is what most of us do every day. We force things, we push, we grind. We wake up and attack our to-do lists. We optimize our mornings, we maximize our output, and we feel exhausted. Not because we're working too hard, but because every action feels like a fight. Lao Tzu would say, the river doesn't fight the rock, it goes around. And over centuries, the rock disappears. The water never forced anything, it just kept flowing. Here's the thing. Most of your stress comes from trying to control things that would handle themselves if you got out of your own way. You try to force a conversation to go a certain way, and it becomes awkward. You try to force sleep and stay awake. You try to force happiness and feel miserable. Lao Tzu says, the more you try to control, the less control you have. The more you let go, the more things find their natural order. Lao Tzu said, do you have the patience to wait until your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving until the right action arises by itself? This is the hardest part of Wu Wei, not the doing, the waiting, the trust that the right action will emerge, not from your anxious brain, but from somewhere deeper, from the Tao itself. Lao Tzu's favorite teacher was water. He wrote, nothing in the world is softer than water, yet nothing overcomes the hard and strong. Water doesn't fight, water doesn't argue, water just flows. And over time, it carves canyons. It reshapes continents. The hardest substance on earth is no match for the softest. This isn't poetry, it's strategy. It's how to live. Be like water, Lao Tzu said. Water adapts to whatever container it's in. It goes where it's needed. It doesn't complain about the shape of the bowl. It doesn't wish it were somewhere else. It just fills the space. And when it's done, it evaporates and becomes clouds. No drama, no clinging, no resistance. Just being what it is. That's the Tao. That's Wu Wei. That's the entire philosophy in one image. Lao Tzu and Confucius allegedly met. Confucius was 35. Lao Tzu was an old man. Confucius had spent his life developing a system of ethics, rules, rituals, proper behavior. He asked Lao Tzu about it. Lao Tzu told him, stop trying to improve people. Stop trying to fix the world. The more rules you make, the more thieves you create. Just live. Confucius walked away, shaken. He told his students, I know how birds fly, how fish swim, how animals run, but the dragon, I cannot understand how he rides the wind. Lao Tzu is a dragon. There's a concept in Taoism called Pu, the uncarved block. A piece of wood before anyone shapes it, before society tells it what to be, before it becomes a table, a chair, a tool. It is just wood, pure potential. Lao Tzu said, return to the uncarved block. Before you learned to force things, before you learned to compare yourself, before you decided you weren't enough, the child who played without worrying what anyone thought, that child is still in there. Go back, pause. You can find the Tao Te Ching in any bookstore. You can find Wu Wei explained in any video about Taoism. What comes next is why this video exists. What do you actually do with this philosophy? You wake up, check your phone. The notifications have already decided what you should worry about today. Your calendar is packed. Your to-do list is overflowing. You feel behind before you've even started. This is the opposite of Wu Wei. This is forcing, and it's killing you. Lao Tzu would say, put the phone down, sit, do nothing, let the mud settle. The day will still be there in 5 minutes, but you'll be different. You feel like you're falling behind, Everyone else is achieving, everyone else is optimizing, everyone else has it figured out, Lao Tzu would laugh. The Tao Te Ching says, "The wise man does nothing and leaves nothing undone, not because he's lazy, because he knows that most of what you're rushing to do doesn't need to be done at all. You're not behind, you're just exhausted from running a race that doesn't exist." Hustle culture tells you, grind harder, wake up earlier, squeeze more out of every minute. Lao Tzu tells you, stop grinding. The river doesn't hustle, it flows, and it gets further than anything that tries to force its way. The person who masters Wu Wei doesn't work less, they work differently, without friction, without burnout, without the constant feeling that they should be doing more. You try to control everything, your career, your relationships, your future. Lao Tzu said, "Those who control, fail. Those who grip, lose. The tighter you hold on to something, the more it slips through your fingers." This isn't mysticism. It's physics. The clenched fist can't receive anything. The open hand can hold the world. You worry about what other people think. Lao Tzu wrote, "Care about people's approval and you will be their prisoner. The more you shape yourself to please others, the less you are yourself. The uncarved block becomes a chair, useful to someone else, but no longer what it was. Return to the block. Care less about approval, care more about alignment. You fear death." Lao Tzu wasn't afraid. The Tao Te Ching says, "The Tao gives life to all things and claims no credit. It nourishes them and makes no claim on them. You came from the Tao, you return to the Tao. The wave doesn't fear returning to the ocean. It knows it was always the ocean." 3 practices. 1. The Wu Wei morning. Before you check your phone, sit in silence, not to meditate, not to achieve anything, just to not force. 5 minutes of letting the mud settle. The day will come at you soon enough. Meet it from stillness, not from panic. 2. The forcing audit. Once today, notice when you're forcing something, a conversation, a workout, a decision. Ask yourself, what would happen if I stopped forcing? Not gave up, stopped forcing. There's a difference. The river doesn't give up on reaching the ocean. It just doesn't fight the rocks along the way. 3. The water check. Once today, when something hard confronts you, a difficult person, a frustrating situation, ask, what would water do? Water doesn't argue. Water doesn't fight. Water flows around, wears down, finds the path of least resistance, and wins. Be water, not once, not twice. Practice it until it becomes who you are. Lao Tzu gave us the oldest answer. Stop forcing. Align with the Tao. Be like water. Return to the uncarved block. But there is one more question. A question Lao Tzu could not answer, because it comes from a tradition that didn't exist when he wrote. What happens when the unconscious speaks? Carl Jung, the psychologist who mapped the unconscious, the man who wrote the foreword to a Tao Te Ching translation because he recognized that Lao Tzu had discovered 2,500 years earlier what Jung spent his life studying: shadow work, archetypes, the collective unconscious, the self that is deeper than the self you know. Jung said, the first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego. The second half is going inward and letting go of it. That's Wu Wei in psychological language. That's the uncarved block in clinical terms. That's the Tao, mapped onto the human psyche. Next time on Mindscape Philosophy, the man who brought the East and West together inside your own mind. This is Mindscape Philosophy, 12 episodes, from a slave in ancient Greece to an old man at a mountain pass in China. Every philosopher pointed toward the same truth. You don't need to force your life, you just need to live it. Tomorrow morning, 5 minutes. Let the mud settle. That's your Wu Wei. That's your Tao. See you next week.